All right. So one of the things that makes New Orleans unlike any other culinary destination is that every neighborhood, every family, and every kitchen has a story. The city's food culture is built on generations of tradition, shaped by countless influences and carried forward by chefs who continue to honor the past while creating something entirely on their own. Our next conversation offers an inside look at the kitchens, the culture, and the creativity that have made New Orleans one of the most celebrated food cities in the world. And I know y'all know that because I know y'all done been to some of these delicious restaurants in New Orleans, and I don't think there's anything better. Am I right? Okay, I feel like I'm right. So curating this next conversation is going to be Chef Nina Compton. We saw her earlier today, whose remarkable career has become part of New Orleans' modern culinary story. Originally from St. Lucia, Chef Compton has earned national acclaim for seamlessly blending Caribbean flavors with Louisiana traditions through her award-winning restaurants and acclaimed culinary vision. Joining her is Chef Kenneth Temple. Hey, Chef Kenneth, okay, period. A New Orleans native, cookbook author, television personality, and one of the city's most recognizable culinary ambassadors. Through his recipes, media appearances, and storytelling, Chef Temple has introduced audiences around the country to the bold flavors and the rich traditions that define New Orleans cuisine. Together, they'll take us behind the scenes of one of America's most influential food capitals, sharing the experiences, inspirations, and community that continue to shape every plate. We want to please enjoy this NOLA Kitchen Confidential conversation. And they're going to be out here in just a second, okay? Chef Nina Compton, everybody. And Chef Kenneth Temple, give them a round of applause. I'll be back.
Mic check.
Good morning, everybody. I'm gonna put my glasses on because as you get older,
Uh-oh.
yeah, you
Gotta start eating your carrots.
I have to keep them on. So I have Chef Kenneth Temple, who is a native New Orleanian who is now living in Dallas.
Yes.
He is a chop champion
Yes.
and an author of a book.
Yes.
Which,
Southern Creole, recipes from my New Orleans kitchen.
so I'm going to kick it off with that book because I just published my first book
Ooh, congrats.
last year, which is a process. So if you want to tell your audience your inspiration behind the book,
All right.
and the process, because I think people don't understand how long it takes to actually do a book.
So you had a publisher backing you.
I did.
I'm self-published.
Oh, wow. So that's
So-
even a...
So I'm the publisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So good morning. Y'all kind of far. Y'all want to come close? There's only a few of us in here. Y'all want to come close to have a little family conversation? No? I love y'all anyway. So, so the cookbook, right? I mean, you're a chef, you got talent, you got recipes, you want to create a cookbook. Sure. I wrote the cookbook a lot earlier than I expected. So I knew I had that chopped opportunity coming. I knew I had one, so people follow success. So I didn't want nobody to only follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook at the time. TikTok and YouTube was, YouTube was YouTube, but like, okay, let me create something so people can have something to follow by. So within 5 months, I wrote the recipes, developed the recipes, shot the recipes, taste tested the recipes. I hired somebody off of Fiverr to edit it and format it for print. I went on Amazon so they can distribute it, so you can still find the book on Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, kennethtemple.com. And I took all those photos on an iPhone.
On an iPhone.
On the iPhone. Every
That's
food
incredible.
picture, 75 recipes are all on the iPhone. The only pictures that's professionally shot is the cover, the front and the back. That's it.
It's such a process. When I did my book, and of course we had 2 different paths, but I think for me it was I wanted to leave my mark,
Yeah.
leave my history, which a book definitely does. But the process of writing the footnotes and the inspiration behind each recipe, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think people think that you just crank this out in 2 days, but it takes a long time.
So, as a chef, we can get chefy with recipes. My goal was to simplify it. So I wanted somebody who was a novice cook to be able to pick up the recipes, feel confident, and execute, right? So even the pictures, like I went around New Orleans and took shots of Frenchman Street and different little, in the French Quarter, just different little segments of the city, just to add that touch. And it was just basically my story of becoming a kid who just used to crack eggs with his dad on the stove, on the counter when he was baking, to man, like I done became something in the industry. So that was my homage to do that book. And I said 20 years later when I look back on this cookbook, I want to still be proud of it. Not feel like I just threw it together, but still feel proud. And nobody really knows it's on an iPhone that I took all those photos.
I had no idea. You completely had us fooled. But I think it's something that as chefs, being creative, and I think, for you, it is really about preserving your heritage, which is very important, especially in New Orleans, because I think most people either love to eat or they love to cook.
It's a balance.
I
love to do both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me, what is your fondest memory growing up as a child in New Orleans? Like, what is your 3 fondest food memories?
Food. Woo. Okay, food. I would go. So every Easter, I don't know what restaurant we used to go to, but every Easter we'll go somewhere to go eat, and they had the buffet, and I ate this particular Easter. I ate 8 eggs Benedicts. So I was so in love with runny eggs. Like to this day, I still eat over these eggs. I ate so many eggs Benedict, I got sick.
Too many eggs.
Too many eggs. Too much going on in that little bit of 8-year-old stomach. I punished that buffet. So that'll be one. 2, second food memory was probably be when my dad taught me how to make his brownie recipe from scratch. I'm a chocoholic, so I love chocolate.
Okay, and it's his.
It's his recipe.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you look at my cookbook, it's called Childhood Brownies. So that's his recipe. And then 3 childhood memories. Ooh, I like this. This on the spot. How old is childhood?
It could be any age.
I would say the last and final would be when I silenced my culinary class the first time I stepped in the kitchen. So I only got into cooking, y'all, because it was like, oh, what you gonna do when you graduate from high school? I should probably have an answer for that, but I didn't. And so I had a cousin that went to Nicholls State. I was like, okay, Nicholls State closed. They got a culinary program. Let me go there. So I was still a kid. I wasn't these chopped junior champions and foodie kids. So they said, pick a recipe, any recipe you want, and cook it, and we all gonna try it. The whole class shut up when they tried this dish. I thought I bombed. You want to hear? I ain't hear none of that. Everybody raved over the dish.
What was the dish?
It was a boiled shrimp remoulade. I never boiled the shrimp, and I had no idea what a remoulade even was.
And you nailed it.
And I nailed it.
You nailed it.
And I silenced the crowd. And that was the moment I realized that silence is a sexy sound in the room. Yeah. Because if you feed somebody and they talking, you may have hit them in the back of their mouth, but if they shut up while they're eating your food,
they're enjoying it.
Yeah.
They're enjoying it.
Yeah, they savor in the moment.
You talked about your dad's brownies. Your mom is in the audience.
Uh-huh.
Does your mom have a specialty?
Spaghetti and meatballs.
Okay.
Spaghetti
All right,
and meatballs.
Mom.
Them Gettys. Let me tell you. So, one of my recent clients right now as a private chef is the current Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker. I made my version of spaghetti. That boy texted me the same day, son. Them Gettys and meatballs. I say shout out to moms. That's where it all started.
He wants it every day.
Yeah.
He wants it every day.
Yeah.
So what is one New Orleans dish that you cannot get enough of?
That's not fair.
That you could have every day for the rest of your life?
That's not fair at all.
Just
put
one.
me on the spot.
Because it's hard.
Every day?
Every day.
every grits,
Grits. Yeah.
cheese grits.
Cheese grits. I agree with that.
Because you can eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner, hungover, brunch. You can put anything with it, fish, chicken, meat. You can even fry it up a different way. And then if you want to get fancy, you could probably make it sweet and make like a sweet grit cake.
Yeah.
So it got diversity to it too. So we don't get bored eating the same thing every single day.
I agree with that. So as a chef, you've been doing this for a very long time. What is the advice you wish you had as a young chef or young cook that somebody told you that you wish you found out earlier or you figured out for yourself?
Make mistakes.
Yeah.
Make mistakes. One of my internship was at Zia's restaurant. If y'all go check out Zia's restaurant. On the wall, every kitchen has they 10 commandments. We call it 10 commandments. Every job should have their 10 commandments on what to do. And one of them was make mistakes. And as a chef, as a cook, obviously you don't want to make a mistake, because if I burn your food, you with your crew, you gotta wait. Damn.
Yeah.
Make the mistake, learn the lesson, you won't make the mistake again.
Yep.
Because especially in today's society, even more now than ever, everybody wants to be perfect. That's why social media, nobody shows you the struggle.
Yeah.
I'm at Essence Fest, y'all.
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of people, especially the young chefs, they have access to a lot of information.
Yes.
They have YouTube, they have Instagram, they have Google. We didn't have that as chefs coming up. So I think for us, the expression of asking questions or making mistakes was, I guess, more encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
And I think now, because they have access to everything, that they feel even more pressure not
Yes.
to ask questions or make mistakes.
Absolutely, yeah, and that's the mirage, right? Is that the person who you follow, who you think has it all together? If you saw them doing that shoot that looked so good and saw the imperfections, you would realize you should allow yourself some grace and get those imperfections. And it's fake.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good because everybody wants to put their best foot forward, but before it got cut and looked all polished, there was some errors that happened, and everybody make a flaw. We all human, and you just gotta make your mistakes and then learn. Burn the chicken.
Yeah.
Burn the brownies.
Yeah.
Almost set the house on fire. Don't
No,
set the
don't
house
do
on
that.
fire. Don't set it on fire. Almost set it on
Yeah.
fire. And then you'll realize, don't do this again, because last time, do this. Cook on the lower heat. Open the door. You know, all the different things.
There's also a lot of variables when you're cooking, and I think for a lot of people, it's, especially with this young generation, they want everything to look
Perfect.
perfect, but they're
Yes.
not thinking about how it tastes.
Ah,
And for me, as a chef, I want things to be very well seasoned.
yes. Gotta be.
I love my salt. I love my spice.
Come on.
And it doesn't have to look the prettiest, but it has to taste like it has some care and some love put into it.
Believe that, yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing that I always tell my cooks is that make it like you're making it for your grandmother.
Hopefully you loved her.
That's the part, right?
Hopefully you loved your grandma.
That's the part.
Yeah.
Because when you think about things and you're being more thoughtful about that, the food tastes the best.
Absolutely.
And I think that is something that the look is the secondary part for me.
Yes, believe that. Now, me and you, we old enough to have went to some of these Michelin star restaurants, some of these raved about restaurants, and the food looks glorious. It is culinary arts,
Yes.
but it tastes like sand.
Yep.
I'm much rather go to a hole in the wall, get something that looked like my grandma made it, rather than to go to some of these fancy upstart restaurants because the flavor profile not there.
Yep. I agree.
And it didn't cost me an arm and a leg to eat. And I'm full.
So what are the? I mean, I've been living in New Orleans for over a decade
All
now.
right now.
And I'm seeing a lot of the restaurants evolve. A lot more than I've seen when I first moved here. And I think the celebration and what I love about New Orleans the most is that this city embraces chefs.
Yes.
It embraces people in the hospitality industry, and everybody wants you to win.
Yes.
So where do you see New Orleans in the next 10 years?
Above water, hopefully.
Yes.
Above water. But I hope New Orleans gets more recognition for what New Orleans is. It's the only original cuisine in America.
I agree.
Yes, there's French. Yes, there's Spanish. Yes, there's Italian. But New Orleans has all of those combined into one. It is the only, you got the Indian, you got the indigenous Americans all blended into this. Everybody, that's why we love cornbread so much. All things corn, grits, and all that. So I see New Orleans just continuously elevating what we know. Like Chef Ashley, she just made like sushi for her, like a shrimp and grits.
Yep.
So it wasn't just shrimp and grits, but it put the twist on it, the imagination, the cultural fusions. Continue to find those fusions where you can learn a little bit from this culture and their technique, because that's all cooking is technique. That's all life is, actually, is technique. So you learn a little bit of this technique and then blend it with your style and flow and present it, you know.
Yeah, and I think that the beauty of this city is that there are so many influences that you can pull from.
Yes.
From so many, and there's also even more influences still coming in.
Absolutely.
You know, there's the Vietnamese culture. You look at the Honduran culture. There's a lot of people that are still coming into this city, and they're adding their little footprint as well. So
the gumbo pot.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what makes New Orleans so unique, because we're one of one.
Yes.
And not everybody has that. And when people talk about when they come to New Orleans, they love the people, number one, and they love the food and the culture. Not many cities can say that.
That's a fact.
If you go to New York, people like, oh, the Empire State Building or Central Park, they're not talking about the food or the culture. New York has 12 million people, and almost every nationality lives there, but nobody gets excited about the food and the culture in New York.
Yeah.
Or somewhere else, or Chicago. So we are really, truly special and set aside, and we keep on evolving as more and more people keep on adding their footprint. And I think the cooking demonstration today of showcasing shrimp and grits, which everybody in New Orleans is familiar with, but to have these chefs do this dish,
elevator version, yes.
different flavors that I have never tried. The way that Chef Ashley, I would have never thought to do the grits with the shrimp inside and made a sushi roll with it. That was
creative.
Very creative, and I think that's what I love about the chefs here, is that they really embrace that, because the people are listening and they want to try, and they're inquisitive.
Yes. I mean, we're a very creative bunch down here. It's just tough that sometimes in order to get the recognition or the shot up, you have to leave.
Yeah.
You have to leave home, because there's so many people. As much as we love holding on to the heritage and the culture, everybody seems to do the exact same thing. Now, even in Dallas, if I see another black restaurant open that's selling fried catfish and chicken wings, oh, come on now, y'all. We got too much heritage to just lean on just that.
Yeah.
Put a little twist to it. Find a little cultural fusion.
But you think because they want to play it safe, it could be that?
But it's you competing with your neighbor, and your neighbor competing with your grandma, and your grandma competing with your auntie. Y'all all selling fish plates and chicken. But can somebody sell red fish instead of catfish?
Right.
Can somebody find another fish to add into the market? So as much as New Orleans continues to evolve, I just pray that we continue to play.
Yep.
You know, because we have the creativity. We see it when we get an artist or of any kind that gets on the national stage, we push the culture.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes.
So, but we got to leave the city sometime in order to push the culture. So I think we just continue to push and continue to be as great as we are. Pull from the influence, but just remember, we got one of the strongest cultures in the world.
I agree. And what is the one thing living in Dallas that you wish you had that's here in New Orleans?
The people.
The people.
The people. When I tell you I got to make my neighbor speak to me, good morning. How you doing? All right. You know, but when you down here, everybody like, all right. Like it's cultural hospitality. I'm not trying to come to your house and kick in your door. I'm just, how you doing? How you doing? So that wave and that how people are that's why people fall in love with the culture. The people are warm, and then it translates into the food. That's why it's called soul food.
Yes. That was one of the things that when I moved here and walking in my neighborhood and just everybody, good morning, people, if they're driving, they'd stop and let you pass.
Yes.
Most places they just
I'm about to knock you. I'm about to run through you. Yeah.
Exactly. And it reminds me a lot of the Caribbean. So everybody that comes to my restaurant from the Caribbean, they are so excited to be here because they say it reminds me of home.
Yes.
Not just the buildings, but the people and just the mannerisms and kind of like the laid backness, but also like the friendliness and just people that they're curious.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, you know, New Orleans is the northernest part of the,
Oh,
of the
yes.
Caribbean. So, I mean, all that, we all countries. Because when I leave the city, everybody asks me, are you Jamaican? I mean, no, but if you want me to go a little bit into it, man, again, but nah, I'm from the city. Nah, I'm from New Orleans. You know, nah, I ain't no Jamaican now. But that's, you know, that's how people just culturally fuse everything. But yeah, it's warm, we inviting, we laid back, we'll feed you, we treat you like we know you and your mom and them for years, you know, and you go outside and it's transactional.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes the city so different because people stop and they take a second.
Yes.
You know, and I think when you talk about in every aspect of the city, there's some kind of music or food or something going on that catches your eye and people want to share that with you where people are always talking about food or some kind of event or a second line. It's just a celebration of life.
Oh yeah, I believe that.
And we do it the best here.
Yeah, we'll find a reason to celebrate and cook you a little something. You know, so like I said, as my background being with pro athletes, like when you meet these people who people glorify because they feel warm, they feel connected, because this isn't just a city. I'm gonna tell y'all. So I've met a lot of celebrities, cook for a lot of celebrities, right? People expect you to kind of be all on them, like, oh my God, you are who you are. But in New Orleans, we feel like we are our own celebrities.
Right,
They'll be
right,
like, you know, hey, all right, you know, man, guess who I saw today? You know what I mean? Like, but we not running into you, just grabbing you and you know, just doing the most. We kind of be like, all right, how you feel? So people can feel comfortable and let their guard down and just be.
Yeah.
Instead of having their guard up and when you interact with them, they some of the meanest people you meet. But if you meet them in the city, they're relaxed, they're comfortable, and be like, man, great person, yeah.
And I love how everybody mixes together, you know. And I remember I had one of my cooks who is Trombone Shorty's cousin, and she's like, yeah, I know him. And I'm like, wait, that's your cousin? And she would show me pictures, and it's just, you know, everybody is connected creatively, whether it's you're a part of the Chase family or your cousin is a musician. It's like we're all connected and we're sharing energy and things that we're very passionate about. And that's what I really love about this city, because nobody is above or below. Everybody is just one of one.
We one love, yeah. Now imagine if we put that together with an economic plan.
We're not going to go there today.
I'm just saying. I mean, there's strength in numbers. You know, I have to hear from my elders about how the Claiborne Corridor used to be the Black Wall Street of the city. But now it's adjacent to the hood now. If we just switch our thinking we were talking about backstage, not 110. We just switch it 30 degrees to more unity instead of fighting, because we all intertwine with each other. We just put a little bit more into building each other up instead of being the old Hamish crabs in a barrel. We can do a whole lot more.
I agree. I think definitely, like you said, strength in numbers, also giving people access to information, education about things. You know, financial stability is definitely one that I would like to see more in the city, where people are, you know, that want to open a restaurant, given the information on how to develop a business plan. What does real estate prices look like? What is, you know, building a restaurant? Give people the access out so people can own property. They can develop industries and keep things in the city and not have other companies from the outside. Let's invest in the people that live here and that are from here, and give them the tools to develop bigger industries and not have these, you know, tech companies coming in and driving, you know, real estate prices up or gentrification. And I think that is the thing that I definitely don't want to see in this city, is the mass gentrification of a lot of the neighborhoods that we want to preserve. And one of the discussions I'm having tomorrow is with Kasimu Harris, who did a project on disappearing black bars in New Orleans, because he was talking about shining a light on this problem that we're having where these black bars are going out of business or they're getting run out because the prices are going up. But people are understanding that those bars are for the community,
Yes.
for, practices or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So if we lose those things, we're losing part of our identity. And that is something that we have to make sure we address in this city. As we develop,
Yes.
we're keeping things and we're preserving things and not becoming this, generic, diluted culture.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that starts at the city council level, right? Because if city council allows the gentrification to happen, so you move into a city with so much culture, but two, then you move into a neighborhood with the culture, and now you're mad that you're hearing music late at night.
Right.
You shouldn't move into this neighborhood. But then we need the money, so then you push the people out who make the community. You're about to have red beans and rice with no red beans.
Right. And that for me, I saw a lot of that happen during the pandemic, where a lot of people were moving down here and they were like, oh, I love New Orleans. And then when people were, again, being themselves, they're like, I don't want this part of the culture. And I said, you can't pick and choose.
Right. That is the culture.
That is the culture. So what you see is what you're going to get.
Yes.
You can't, separate things, because then what's the point?
Right.
And I see a lot of those things happen where you talk about things like Super Sunday, where people are only showing up for that, but not understanding that is something that is a very personal, protected space.
Yes.
So when you're entering those spaces, you have to be respectful. You can't just be taking a picture here and there.
Right.
You have to be respectful of those people, because this is their time and their moment, and you're entering their space.
Absolutely, because the Super Sunday is the honor of Social Aid Pleasure Club. The Social Aid Pleasure Club works out of a bar in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
or a space rented in your neighborhood to get ready. That footwork just don't happen on Sundays. Now we got to practice. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure this footwork look good when I come out. So yeah, but that's where, again, if we come together a little bit more, we can own the neighborhoods more, right? Because I was here for Katrina. Everybody got a check, but Grandma didn't own the spot.
Right.
And if Grandma did own, we're not coming back, so we sold it.
Right.
And so they rebuilt it, they flipped the script, and now you don't have anything to say about your community no more. You can just drive by with your kids and say, that used to be the house. It looked different back in the day.
Yep.
So that's what I mean. If we just shift our 30% to more unity, because everybody know everybody.
And I think that is also something that you see in very small cities, where people that are from here, that's all they know.
Yeah.
And to get displaced is a very sad thing, because we're seeing a lot of those things also in the Caribbean, where all the beaches are bought by the hotels, so the locals now cannot get access to the beaches.
You should be able to just walk down to the beach and go have a little good time.
Right. So what we're seeing is that the hotels and these, developments that are happening, the locals don't get access to it. And we are giving the most beautiful beaches, the most beautiful access to people that don't even live there. And that is a very sad moment, and we're seeing this in all different communities.
Yeah.
Because then, the second line, once they get moved around, then it doesn't hit the same.
That's a fact.
So we kind of have to preserve those things, because our culture doesn't have a price tag. And we need to know what is for sale and what is not for sale, and we need to protect those things. And that's a very important thing that we need to address in any community, because once people start to take things out of that.
Yeah, you're taking the essence
Exactly.
out of, no pun intended, but you're taking the essence out of the people.
You're literally taking the essence out of it. And that is the thing that we don't want to do, because then people start to say, well, things have changed, or it used to be like this. Nobody wants to hear that.
That's a fact, yeah. And I think the thing is, we think we don't have any power. I mean, I know they wanted the vendors here today, but there was a agreed upon community standstill not to support a particular vendor, and they felt that. So your strength is in your dollars and in your money. So if we, again, 30%, we can start at 2% and just see how that goes coming together. Because in the restaurant community, we're a tight community. Everybody know who everybody is. That's why when you hear a friend's restaurant and closed down, it's like, damn, they was good people. They actually had good food, had great service, but you got priced out of your community.
Got priced out. And I think that is the thing that I find with a lot of chefs, is that it's important to ask questions, like you
Yes.
said. Don't be afraid to say, hey, my restaurant's not really doing well. I need some advice.
Yes.
And I think that is something we talked about backstage is putting the ego aside
Oh,
and helping somebody that may be lost
yeah.
or doesn't have an answer to something that you can help them with. Because I see that the more restaurants we have, the more jobs we have, the more money that we're bringing
Yes.
in. A lot of things change when you have restaurants in those communities. So I think if we're able to have these communications with each other,
Yeah.
share information, also, you know, spotlight people that don't have any
Don't have a
access
building,
to it.
right, yeah.
You know, that don't have a building, you know, do a collaboration with them at a restaurant and give people access to those things, because not everybody has a social media person
Yes.
or they can
Yes.
afford to do these events.
Mhm.
But, you know, showcase those things, I think, is really important. So whatever you can do just to bring people along with you, then go for it.
And go for it, yeah. I think New Orleans could truly also benefit from more food halls. So we have one Sang Rock. If we had a few of those scattered throughout the city, uptown, downtown, the east, especially the east
Yep.
need the love. If you have more of those, now you can get more vendors in the spots. Because look, a Winn-Dixie or a mall or something shut down. There's some commercial building that's available for sale. If we could flip that into a spot where the vendors has less cost on lease, now they get a shot. There's actually a guy that did that in Dallas. In one of our communities, instead of him flipping the Winn-Dixie into another big chain, he sold into almost like a swap meet.
Oh, wow.
So now there's a bunch of different vendors from within the community who can go there, rent's affordable, they can put on for their community, and they can grow their business to be a footstool to a next level.
Right.
But you got to think like that. Again, 30%. Just
Yeah, I think that is the biggest thing, is giving people just the opportunity
yes.
to eventually open a restaurant or do a little pop-up. I think anything that you can just do to get forward-facing is really important, and
Absolutely.
the opportunity is the first step.
Yeah, and I think also people need to understand that there's more money in corporate. Everybody wants to open up a restaurant, but what happens if you just specialize in corporate sales?
Yeah.
Somebody got to feed all these beautiful people that came into the city. Somebody got to work with the tourism community. There's more money to be made where we all don't have to try to be getting water out of the same bucket.
Yeah.
There's plenty of water in the city, but you just have to think outside of the box.
Yeah, and I think because everybody thinks that a restaurant is the only way that you can do that, like you said, a private chef, corporate,
Yeah.
there's a nutritionist for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
There's just so many things that you
So
can
many
do in
avenues.
this industry that there is life beyond the restaurant. You
Absolutely.
can also consult on some of those things. So there's more to things than just having a restaurant, and I think now a lot more people are doing these avenues, and YouTube channels and everything else, I think is
Absolutely.
definitely ways to do
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah, because you're talking about the avenues have opened up, right? Obviously, the first time you graduate from culinary school, they ask you, well, what restaurant you want to open up? Just because you could cook don't mean you should open up a restaurant.
yep.
And with YouTube, it used to only be you had to go through the Food Network to get on. But now you can go through YouTube and build your own channel, have your own creativity, create your own brand and your own market, and then flip that into something massive for the people. But if you don't push your limits of what you can accomplish, you'll never know what's actually available to you.
I agree.
That's why it's good to travel. Even if you don't have a car that could get fault, go drive 6 hours to Houston.
Yeah.
Go drive 6 hours to Florida. Go drive 6 hours to Arkansas. Like, just go and just see other communities
I agree.
and get inspired. Because traveling matures you. Because you
It
see other
definitely
things.
does.
Yeah.
It exposes you to a lot of things.
Yes.
So as we wrap up, Chef, what is the one thing or two things that you most look forward to this weekend?
Sleep. And getting to spend time with my family.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. Well,
Yeah.
shout out to Mom in the crowd.
Yeah, shout out to Mom. Shout out to my nan. Shout out to my friends. See y'all up in here. You heard me? Yeah. Just good to see family again,
Good.
you know? And thank you for having me,
Well,
Chef.
thank you. Thank
That's
you,
been fun.
everybody.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
All right, let's give them a round of applause. Thanks so much. We're going to wrap up this stage, and we'll be back at 1 o'clock. Y'all did great.